The 6 things that I recommend to fix the Social Security disability claims process. I've been practicing Social Security disability law for many, many years. And over that time, the Social Security disability claims process, in my opinion, has gotten worse. And it's to the point where I think the claims process is past broken. The claims process is needlessly complex, it's unevenly applied, and it's emotionally and financially exhausting to the very people that it was intended to protect. The Social Security disability claims process has 5 stages. It's called the 5-step sequential evaluation. And that process is used at every stage. There's the initial application, there's the request for reconsideration, there's the hearing, there's an appeals council, and then there's the federal appeals court. Now, the 5-step sequential evaluation is a whole different topic, but I will tell you the first 3 stages of the claims process is a disaster. At the initial stage, you file an application with a state agency called Disability Determination Services, DDS. And I don't know that you want to know my nickname for them, but over 66% of claims are denied at the DDS level. And right now, it's taking at least a year before the initial application is even assigned and reviewed by a claims examiner at DDS. The award rate and the delay rate, I think, is just unacceptable. And during the course of that year, many of my clients are going into debt, they're using up their savings, they're mortgaging their homes, they're selling their homes, they're going homeless, they're filing for bankruptcy, they're making basic decisions about whether or not they're going to eat, see the doctor, how they're going to live. And they often go without appropriate medical care, become depressed and demoralized. That's disgusting. Now, if the initial application is denied, then you have to file an appeal called a request for reconsideration. And it goes back to DDS, who hasn't necessarily improved the quality of their determination process. And that's taking at least 5 to 9 months. Over 2/3 of claims at that stage are denied. And again, I think the award rate and the delay is absolutely unacceptable. If, unfortunately, the request for reconsideration is denied, then you have to file a request for hearing. And that gets you out of DDS and in front of an administrative law judge. Currently, it's taking about 5 months to get a hearing, and the award rate in front of the judge is better, depending on the judge, and you can look at each judge's rate. But in my view, again, the award rate and the delay is really not acceptable. Do you know that over 1% of applicants die while they're waiting for that decision? That's 110,000 people who die while they're waiting for their Social Security disability decision. So what are my suggested solutions? I think they are practical solutions, but I will tell you that unfortunately there is a lack, as always, of political will. Now, many people see Social Security disability applicants as frauds or cheats, and they forget that you've actually paid into the Social Security system to be insured if you become disabled. To me, that's hardly stealing, and it's not stealing from the government. It's money you've contributed to the system. So number 1, hire and pay Social Security employees a living wage. Many employees that we talk to at the Social Security Administration say that there just aren't enough employees to handle the volume of the claims that there are. And their reduction in the hours has resulted in increasing processing time. And don't we know that? Number 2, simplify the Social Security disability claims application. As I tell my clients, it's a pain in the ass to complete a Social Security disability application. The entire application can be shortened, and I think it can be streamlined. 3, train and retrain DDS employees. In my opinion, if over 2/3 of the applications are denied, that means that there's a problem either with the application or with the staff. The Social Security Administration should do an analysis of what's going wrong with these forms, and I think they should further train the employees to uniformly apply the Social Security criteria in evaluating that application. Number 4, eliminate the request for reconsideration. If over 2/3 of those are denied, why don't we just simply pass go and go right to a hearing in front of an administrative law judge? Now, there are some states that don't have the request for reconsideration, and I think that's a great thing. All it does is prolong the agony and the financial distress. So, in my view, eliminate it. Now, number 5, create special units to catch up with the backlog. Now, that's been done in the past, but I think we need to really reinstitute it. The goal should be to reduce the time it takes to get a decision from Social Security, but in the meantime, this delay is absolutely unacceptable. I think that the special unit should be able to call out those applications that have been pending for more than a year. They get high priority, they move to the top of the stack. I also think that claims should be assigned to that unit with an instruction that says, look, the decision has got to be made in 90 days. And if the decision is not favorable, then there should be an expedited, fast-track hearing scheduled so that this can be decided. And number 6, I think that there should be a special unit created based on the nature of the disability. Now, Social Security has a compassion allowance program that allows for expedited decisions in certain medical conditions such as cancers. But in my view, there isn't any reason why the Social Security Administration can't have expedited units for diseases like Parkinson's, Ehlers-Danlos, POTS, cardiac disease, and other types of progressive medical conditions. Yes, I get it. That's going to put other claims ahead of others. But I think those claims are actually simpler to decide. That's my suggestion for improving the Social Security disability claims process. I will tell you, as a Social Security lawyer, it's frustrating to have to tell clients that it's going to take at least a year to get the initial application decided, or as long as 2 years to get in front of a Social Security judge. My clients have worked hard. They've contributed to the Social Security disability system, and they're generally embarrassed and ashamed that they can't work. They're not lazy, they're not frauds, and they're not cheats. These 6 simple suggestions, if implemented, I think, would really solve the problem. Now, of course, we've got to have political will, we've got to have a little money. If it's the measure of a country's greatness as to how they treat the disabled, then we're not doing a very good job. Don't you agree? Call your congressman and light a fire under their you-know-what.